What's up, YouTube? So it's gonna be a quick video. I just kind of woke up, but this video, I'm gonna talk about I want to talk about my experiences dealing with like a lot of just emotionally unintelligent people and people who lack a lot of common sense and who lack a lot of morals and integrity throughout life, right? Or they just yeah. So let's get to it. So obviously I came from a very dysfunctional family to where like I had to cut all them off, right? And I know I mentioned this a lot in my videos, but it's true. So I was be reflecting my life, right? And like I've dealt with a lot of like people who aren't sane, who aren't good people. I've been around like I've cut off so many people, and I was forced to cut off a lot of people, and it's crazy how like throughout my life, I feel like I was observing my life, and I'm not saying I'm perfect, I'm this and that, but what I can say is that without a doubt, all my life, I've always been around very mentally ill people. And I understand a lot of people are mentally ill in some way because we live in a corrupt world. Like I said before, if you live in a shit world, it's going to produce shit people and shit results, right? I'm not saying people are shit, but you get what I'm saying. So we live in a world where like it's controlled by money enslavement, where we have a lot of corrupt people ruling over this world for thousands of years. And just the fact that this realm, this 3D earthly realm, allows shit like this to happen for such a long time, it tells you how much this realm isn't a good place to fucking be in, to reincarnate in. I feel like it has a lot of potential to be great, but just the fact that shit like this happens, yeah, this realm is not a good place. It's not, you know. Shit, I almost dropped my phone. And shout out to Chauncey one because he mentioned that he mentioned this realm was not a good place, and I agree with him. It's not a good place. He also mentioned that like the things I said. Like he mentioned just the fact that this world allows evil, or this realm allows evil shit like this to take place. Just the fact that it allows shit like this to happen, that in itself tells you this realm is not a good place. How low vibrational the fucking universe is for allowing so much bullshit like this to happen. People acting up, enslavement, fucking real corruption and lies being kept and shit. Where we're forced, bro. We're in hell. That's why people in the spiritual community call it hell. I'm not saying this world is entirely. I mean, there are good parts to experience, and blessings and shit like that. But overall, a lot of evil shit takes place in this realm without a doubt. This is why we have so many mentally ill people, and even the spiritual community. People would say I've heard people in the spiritual community say that they view Earth. I mean, Earth is like a school where souls can reincarnate so they can learn lessons, and this is why everyone goes through horrible shit. This is why everyone's traumatized in some way and shit, which makes sense. But still, though, like I don't respect this realm. I don't like this universe because a lot of bullshit happens, you know. But that's not. But yeah, that is a point. But so when I say this world, this is my opinion to my own studies and observations. But so when this world produces shitty situations, it's gonna expect to. So it makes sense that it's gonna produce people who are mentally ill, right? Because we live in a mentally ill world, mentally ill realm. So, but this is crazy how like all my life, like I've noticed like I had to cut so much people off, man. I've cutted all my family, like all of them. I cut all of them off. I don't even speak to them. I block them because they're on some bullshit. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, but there are things where they done where like I had no choice, but I was forced to block them and call them off. You know what I'm saying? I'm not tripping. Like honestly, I really don't give a fuck because me, I really prioritize my peace and my mental health. So like if they're causing chaos and all this other painful shit, then cut these motherfuckers off. You know, I don't have a problem doing that. You know what I'm saying? They already burned a lot of bridges, so I don't give a fuck about them. I don't. I don't. I don't want them to be around me. But also, but just not only that, but like I've been around. I've dealt with like I guess coworkers or like people at the workplace and so-called friends I thought had my back, and I've dealt with all these people, and even these people have good intentions. Like they're just so toxic, and they have so much bad habits, and like they'll do a lot of things that's harmful to me, like just how they speak, how they live their life, and shit like that. Like I was forced to cut these people off, and then, and like I feel like they don't do this shit purposely, but it's like unconsciously they're so fucking like toxic and they're not even aware of it. It's like when people are like that, they'll project that shit towards you eventually because they're so unaware, and this is why they're just saying you are who you hang out with or you are who you're around with, and it's just, they're just saying like that for a reason because if you're around toxic people or people who are so traumatized and dysfunctional and mentally ill, if you're not even aware that they can have good intentions for you, like their intentions not to harm you, but since they're so toxic, their toxicity and their unhealed trauma and baggage is so bad that like they're gonna project that shit towards you without them even realizing it. And from a spiritual aspect, if the more lower vibration you are, more toxicity you have, you can actually attract, according to the spiritual community, that you can actually attract lower vibrational entities and demonic spirits to kind of inhabit that vessel so they can attack someone who's at a higher vibration. So they can bring a person who's in a higher vibration low to their level because this world, these demonic entities, these lower vibrational entities, they enjoy suffering. They feed off people's suffering, right? So this shit gets deep. And in my opinion, you don't have to believe what I believe in, but that's how I look at shit. You know what I'm saying? So, and of course, I got these information from other YouTubers and spiritual information. But I personally believe in that shit because I've experienced shit like this where I like my life, like I said, my life is very strange. So my life is not my like me like I said this I enjoy my life, like I know how to make things happen for myself. I always set myself up for success. It's just it's the fucking most people who are the problem, right? But like I said, I always manage to come to the top. It may take me some time here and there. I may have to do a lot of healing work. It's not easy, but I always end up finding a way to overcome these situations and get to the top. And I always become a better version of myself. This is how I am. I'm just built like that. And I know people are built like that as well. But that's not the point. But yeah, kind of. But where where was I getting? So what I'm saying is this. So like, all my life, right? Like, not everyone, like not 100% people, but most people. Like, this is why my circle is so small. Even though, for example, I have it on social media. I have Instagram, this and that. Like, I have a large following or whatever. Well, not large following. Like, I have like 1,000 followers. I'm following like 1,000 people. But like that's not the point. Like, just because like you have like I'm talking about real life. I'm not talking about some social media bullshit. I'm talking about like real life shit. Cause real life has nothing to do with fucking social media. Social media, usually people who have followers like that is because they don't like one, they're just strangers who follow them, and two, they're acquaintances. They're not really your friends like that, or those aren't people who aren't in your life around. These are the types of people who like you probably like see or hang out with for like a couple weeks or a couple months, and then you two will go on your separate ways, and then you two decide to follow each other on social media. That's why people get a lot of followers like that. You know what I'm saying? Either strangers or people they even know like that. But I'm talking about like people who you're forced to interact with through work situations, through family, or trying to build long term connections with people. Or it doesn't have to be long term. It has to be like midterm and shit like that, right? Where like you two are just in each other's lives. But I feel like with me, it's like all the connection, most connections I'm in, I'm either forced to cuss someone out to put them in their place, or they'll do some shit to overstep my boundaries or cross me in some way, and then I'm forced to defend myself to these people, right? And then that'll piss me off, and then it always ends up in me blocking these people or me trying to remove myself from these people away from my life. Always ends up like that, always. So it's crazy. Or like it always seemed like I'll meet a shitty group of people, right? And then the life or the universe will find a way to separate me and this group of people or a specific person through my connections, so we can go on our separate paths after like I found out they're on some bullshit, like after I found out they're narcissistic or they have some toxic traits or they have bad intentions, right? So that's how life always works out. Some people may call it spiritual protection, some people may call it divine orchestration. How I look at it is this. Well, I don't really look at it as divine orchestration or spiritual protection because usually people who are away from our lives, that shit will happen after they've done the abuse, they've done the toxicity, and they cause a lot of drama and just traumatic experiences and fucking up my life. Then they'll get away from my life. It always happens like that. It's not one of those things where, oh, universe is warning me this and that. This is why I don't believe in spiritual protection. When people talk about in these spiritual channels about like, oh, you're spiritually protected, or your ancestors are watching over you, that's bullshit. It's not like that. And shout out to Chauncey one because he mentioned in this life, in his human experience, we have no free will. We do to a certain extent, but not as much as you think. Like everything is pre-planned, everything is predestined, everything's orchestrated. The people you meet, in my opinion, the people you come across with, um, work situations you've been in, like your family and do like or jobs you worked at and fucking like people you've met, all this shit is predestined, it's pre-planned. So if you're watching this video, if you're constantly meeting around people who seem like they're not at your level or they seem very retarded compared to you, it's not a coincidence. You're meant to experience those people, and this shit is so annoying. It is so annoying. But from a spiritual or a higher perspective, I could be wrong, but how I look at it is this: if I'm constantly around shitty people or just retarded people like that who aren't at my level, and they're proving that they're not on my level because they always do some bullshit to where I got to cuss them out, cut them off, or distance myself from these people, which I have experienced. Then I look at it as this: either I'm attracting these people because I'm not healed myself, or it's because these people were put into my life so I could pretty much teach them certain lessons when it comes to like respect, love, elevation, or or soul contracts, or like karma from past lives and shit. Or it could be all three, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I view these situations. And of course I've learned these from other channels and shit like that. But that's what I come up to the conclusion with, you know what I'm saying? And not only that, but I feel like it's just naturally part of the human experience where like people they just because if you observe everyone's lives, like people always got like everyone in this planet always has some shit they went through that's very traumatic or it's very painful in order for them to evolve and grow, right? And that's normal. But what I'm talking about is like I feel like people tend to experience this unnecessary inconveniences with life. I feel like part of this realm, this human experience, is a cause at times inconveniences and just bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So this is why like, and shout out to Chauncey on. He mentioned that like the spirit it wants experiences. So and I know it deals with the ego, this and that, but still though, like we could agree that like no one wants to experience bullshit experiences with like finances and dumbass people and being enslaved and being controlled by money where it keeps you stuck and limited and like you're dealing with like health problems or like just the people you're around with they just seem so dysfunctional and shit. No one wants to deal with that shit, you know what I'm saying? But we're all forced to deal with that to a certain extent, and this is why we don't have free will like that because everyone seems to experience either some type of situations like that that's an inconvenience, but this is how it is, you know what I'm saying? But to be honest, I don't know what this video is about. I'm just ranting, but like it's bullshit how like throughout my whole life, like I'm just forced to cut a lot of people off, and it's normal. It doesn't bother me. I mean, it affects me, of course. It's me. I'm a human, and not only that, but like I'm the type of person where like, I'm really trying to better myself. I got goals, I got dreams, I got aspirations. I've always had this as a kid growing up, and I still do, and I've gotten results, and but I still want more. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna be great in this life. I really want to be great. Like I wanna, and not only that, but like I love helping people as well. But over the years, like I've constantly been around people who like kind of take advantage of me or like they'll cross my boundaries or like they think I'm stupid and like they'll try me in some way when it comes to like trying to like them borrowing for money, asking for money or just other shit like that. So nah, man. So like I'm just been exposed to a lot of just different types of people, but more so I've been exposed to a lot of like people who aren't at my level, people who are very who like in self awareness or they're just very like shitty fucking people. And it's unfortunate that I'm forced to be around these people, but I feel like life will God or the universe will kind of put me into these situations so I could learn from these people and so I could learn the importance of one listening to my intuition, but two not learn how to not people please, learning how to like set firm boundaries and learning how to say no to people. You know what I'm saying? Because we got a lot of like people are they're just so dumb that's people in my life they're just so dumb and like mentally low that like and spiritually low as well. Like I have to set boundaries, and I feel like when you come to connections, you don't have to set boundaries. Like why is it that like I always got to come to connections where I got to set boundaries with people? Always, you know what I'm saying? They always do some bullshit. It's like people always having a fucking agenda, and I get it. People use people like no, it didn't have to be a bad way. Even a good way for like business purposes and work situations, so they can make money. which is fine. But if you're using someone for your own gain out of their dispense or out of their expense, then that's a problem in my opinion, and that shit needs to be dealt with. You know what I'm saying? So I've always been around people like that, and this shit gets annoying. So like I said, I'm either forced to cuss people out, cut them off, or just block them and just distance myself from these people. At times, I'm forced to be around people like that, like through work situations and shit like that. Even with family, like, well, not now, but like, because since we live in such a corrupt world where like we can't really buy our own house or buy our own car and just get out of our situation. At times, like, I was stuck being around toxic family members because I couldn't get out of my situation. I was put in a vulnerable situation. But so like I'll hide in my room all day. Like, I want to be around them. Either I'll be in my room, not fucking with them, or like I'll be outside, just doing my own thing, looking for work, working out, doing my hobbies, doing what I gotta do to improve my life. You know what I'm saying? But they always start some shit with me. So it's like, it's bullshit, man. But again, it could be doing like shit like this, and people go through some shit like this where like they have no control over as much, but they're forced to be around certain situations. That deals with like, could be past life karma, or like karmic cycles, like just different karmic ties, like soul contracts and like just shit like that, or like spiritual warfare. So you just never know. But there is a spiritual side to it. But what I'm saying is just crazy how like at times in life, when if you're trying to go far in life, we're trying to do great, it seems like there's always some type of force or a higher power, or like some type of spiritual warfare that's trying to stop you from reaching your goals. So you know what I'm saying? I feel like part of this human experience is experience bullshit so you can believe in yourself, so you can like push through. But how I look at it is, why is it always like that? Like, why is there always some bullshit inconvenience like that? Like, there are other ways to go about it instead of having to go through bullshit situations that hold you back. But people may call it the ego, or like your ego is saying that. But I don't know. It's just, it is what it is. But all I'm saying is this: like, if you're going through hard times, or if you're watching this video, like, if it seems like you're trying to get out of your situation, but life seems to hold you back in some way, and just know that you're not alone, and just know that, just don't give up, because as long as you have a desire, if you want something in your heart, and shout out to New Mind Frame. New Mind Frame mentioned that like, whatever's in your heart desires, that means you desire it for a reason. So that means you're meant to follow your heart, because it wouldn't be there if it wasn't in your heart, right? And shout out to New Mind Frame. That's what she mentioned, and she got a good point. Whatever's in your heart, like when it comes to your dreams, your goals, your aspirations, just the fact that you have those desires and it's in your heart, it's in there for a reason, and it's meant for you. You know what I'm saying? And you are gonna reach it in this lifetime. Just don't let this stupid ass people, this life, and just your lack of free will when it comes to the human experience stop you from reaching your goals. Obviously, take time to learn the lessons through your setbacks. Try to learn how to overcome it and become the better version of yourself. Always make the most out of any situation. I know it's easier said than done. I know it's annoying, but just go for it. You know what I'm saying? Make the most out of your situation. For example, if you're injured, or so like you can't do the things you want to do, or like you're just stuck in jail or in prison, and like you seem like you're just stuck. Or just use these situations to develop resilience, mental toughness, do a lot of soul searching and shadow work. Try to know more about yourself, become your own best friend. And then once you're able to get out of these situations, because it is possible, then you're going to become a much better version of yourself than before. You have more wisdom. And I know it's annoying. I know it's inconvenient. I know this shit's so unnecessary, but just make the best out of your situation. I know it's bullshit. Trust me, I know it's bullshit. I know in this human experience, we lack free will, it seems, and like there's a lot of stupid shit happens. But just don't let these people or these life situations affect you. Just keep having faith, keep following your heart, because people may try to stop you. Life may try to stop you. Like the human experience with lack of free will may stop you, but what can't stop you is your desires and what's in your heart. You know what I'm saying? And die trying. And there's saying like there's like a quote that says, something and die trying. It's good to die trying than to like just give up and not to participate and just submit to this bullshit ass human experience. You know what I'm saying? So just know that whatever's in your heart, it's good. Like, go after it until you die. It's good to die try. You know what I'm saying? And that's heroic. That's very courageous. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, but like more than likely, if you're following your heart's desires, then that means you're in the right alignment. Of course, along doing the healing work, but if you're following your heart, then that means no one can stop you. Pretty much, you may deal with some setbacks You're like your free will, but you're still gonna make it. But this is bullshit. But like, yeah, but lately, like I've been observing my life, and I feel like sometimes like the older I'm getting, the more I'm observing my life and people around my life, my whole life growing up is like I feel like I've been set up. Like, I mean, I'm thankful I have the awareness now, and I'm still trying to overcome my situations with, and how to overcome dealing with stupid ass people, but like, and of course finances and shit. But like, it's like I feel like I've been set up, man. Like I've always feel like I've always been around the wrong types of people, like the people who don't deserve to be in my life. They just manage to somehow be in my life through family members, through shit like that. I understand it deals with karma and soul contracts and shit like that, where you gotta do some karma with like the shitty people, but so you can learn lessons. But I don't know, man. It's just it is what it is. I'm just speaking my mind, but if it makes sense, it makes sense. But like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully this video helps. And have a good one. Peace.